folks, I'm going to tell you 5 quick facts about black bull markets. Now, did you know, number 1, they're New Zealand FMA regulated. Number 2, did you know they have a copy trading service where you can either be a signal provider or copy signals? And number 3, did you know they've got over 26,000 tradable assets, including Forex, crypto, stocks, indices, and even more? And number 4, did you know they offer 500 to 1 leverage? And number 5, if you open up an account today and trade 1 lot a month, they're going to give you TradingView Pro for free. Check them out, Black Bull Markets.
Good morning, everybody, or anyone that is around that is. My name is Zach. I am doing I think this title may say 100K challenge. I'm doing the 25K challenge. This is just my second stream doing the challenge. You are coming in as I'm finishing up my backtesting from the day before. So I'm gonna finish up that really quick. That's one of the things I wanted to do as I set up in this challenge, is to each day record my like the setups that would have occurred, even the times that I wasn't sitting down watching the charts, to be able to just kind of give myself more visibility on the setups, as well as just to have data available to myself to kind of test. So let me finish that really quick, and then we will get into where I'm at with my challenge, as well as a trade that actually already started. I finished my testing on UJ, and right as the setup was setting up, it's nearly stopped out, but then it did come back down into profit. So I'll show you that in just a moment. For now, let me get my screen shared, and we'll finish up with my testing. Let's try that. There we go. Okay. All right. Well, since I'm on the screen already, you can see the trade that I'm in here. This is a UJ pair. I'll talk about the setup in a little bit because I want to finish my testing, but I actually need to move stop to 1R. And I'll get into that in just a minute. I want to go through, finish up my testing from yesterday. I just use a spreadsheet, and I just enter in the time of the trade would have entered, as well as the outcome based on what I see in the data here. So I think shouldn't be too much longer here. So bear with me 1 second while I finish this. Something that I wanted, one of the things that got me excited about doing this challenge was the accountability. And like this morning, even I was just like, I don't want to do my back testing. I just want to get in and start looking for trades. So it's my tendency is to not want to do some of these things that I know will be good for my trader development. So it's It's the truth of it. So that's why I'm here talking about these things that are less than ideal, to hopefully help me and potentially somebody else as they're on their trading journey, either to also, have some insight there. So so this is kind of a clunky setup here, but what I look for is once the trend shifts, and I use the moving averages as just a quick reference for trend shift, as well as choppy. Like wouldn't have taken anything in here because it's all sideways. This one starting to move down. You can see this short-term low. Let me zoom in a little bit. Let's see really quick. Yeah, it's backtesting is it's basically, I mean, in this setting, this is just going back and looking at old data to review. And the hardest part about it, I think, at least in MetaTrader, I know in TradingView you can like hide the rest of the candles. It's pretty hard to objectively look at it with your strategy and be like, oh well, maybe I probably wouldn't have moved my stop loss there because you see all this over here. And it's like, oh well, it went lower later. So it's pretty hard to be objective about backtesting. But anyways, this high poked above these over here, so I call that a raid, little mini raid, and then you had a short-term low that broke down below, leaving a gap in the wake. So if everybody got right here to right here, something like that. It's doing its little magnet thing. There's so many little candles in here, but that's the doesn't want to do it. There, I'll just do it like that. So that's the gap. The gap has to have 50%, has to be at, or I won't get in except for 50% or higher retracement. So this entry would have been right at 50% because the gap is right there in it. But you can see it wouldn't have come up to my stop loss, which is just like a 10% over my 10%. I think it's 10%. Let's see. It is, yeah, 10% of the range itself added on to the top. There's just an objective way of looking at where the stop should go. So then it comes down, gets down to 1R, which is where I would move to break even, wherever the entry was, comes down, doesn't quite hit it there, but hits 2R right there. So stop would move to 1R, and that's where I would have been out. So I add that to my sheet, put in the time of entry, which would have been right here, 10:43. Server time, don't have, this is just whatever server time is here. So don't think I'm saying there's a time that is just right for this. This is just the time that the server shows on the charts. So let's see. While I'm backtesting, I do put in every trade, even if I would have been in a trade already. So like for instance, if this gap right here had a retracement to it, it follows the same rules, and so it could have gotten in again, but it didn't retrace back up in there. So this would be another opportunity as this came down below, left a gap here to here, as well as actually here to here. That's an interesting one because it happened almost at the very top. But either way, it didn't get a 50% retracement, so I can't do anything with that. Right here, this one got above a couple short-term highs there, leaves a gap in there, as well as right there. So let's see, how would I look at that? So I think this would have reset the possibility there for me. Is this zigzaggy move there? It's like a new break, so I would cancel that order. Nothing there. This one, it's another move down with a gap, but there's not enough retracement there, so no trade. Stephen, South Africa, cool. thanks for watching. It's a decent chunk. I'm in the northwest of US. I'm on an island outside of off the coast. Um, Pretty cool spot. Also, let's see, 8A, 6Y, learning how to backtest, cool. I've done a decent amount of backtesting, and it's a helpful skill, like to be able to go in and look at a strategy that you think is going to be cool, and just lost my train of thought. Sorry. Like if you go in and you think you see something that's like, oh, this happens every day, this is great, but then you go and do it and you test 100 or a couple hundred tests from history, and you're like, well, either you get to look at that data and be like, oh yeah, it does work that well, or you see it and you're like, oh well, I guess over the long haul it's a break even strategy, so I don't want to waste my time with that. Or it allows you to maybe tweak it a little bit, dial it in. So it's big moves like this, I don't, with this strategy you don't get any opportunity to hop in. I'm currently going through the ICT 2022 mentorship on YouTube, and I look forward to implementing some of that one day when I feel more comfortable with it, and might have opportunity. Facile, hi. Anna, are you also from South Africa? Is that what you're saying there? That's cool. Couple folks from over there. Oh, the ICT mentorship takes some time to warm up to, for sure, but it's pretty stinking rad when you get used to some of the concepts. So like what I've done, India, awesome, Fasil. That's so cool. I don't normally get to interact with anyone from anywhere else in the world. I'm not normally an internet personality or social media or anything like that. So um, let's see. Oh yeah, ICT mentorship is rad. It's So what I did is I started listening to him and kind of just found a bunch of random videos and started listening to it, and then um, got like what I would call like maybe like a 5 or 10% understanding of a couple of the things. But that little bit of understanding really helped to be able to go back in and watch some of the and actually learn from the mentorship videos. So that's kind of cool. So it's a super cool video. I appreciate his work a lot, and it helps you to see things quite a bit differently. So that's what I'll say about that. But definitely confusing if you're not ready to, like, the first little while I was like trying to do my other job and like do like I would like a podcast or something, as far as listening to it, and you can't do that. Like I now sit with a notebook and actually take notes, pause it, go back, actually give a little bit of solid time to it. So yeah, I think it's worth it. I mean, it depends on what kind of trader you are too. Like there's a lot of teachings out there that could be helpful to a trader depending on style. I like 1 minute, I like fast, I like the nitty gritty of the details that ICT gives. So yeah, it's pretty cool. This would have been an entry here. You can see this. Well, just lava. You can. I mean, there's ways of not falling asleep during videos. In my opinion, you could yeah, there's a handful of things. Taking notes is good. Doing it at a time that's not sleepy time. Putting on fast speed to get through to concepts, and then slowing it back down or going back a bunch of times. I think that's helpful. But yeah, I mean, if that's the thing, if it's kind of boring getting to the good stuff, then that's not probably the way to go. So yeah, 125. Yeah, I actually put on 1.75, which is really fast for me, but it allows me to get through like the lots of comments of um lots of comments of like no, this is real. I feel bad for the dude because so many people claim he's not doing what he says he's doing, and so he has to repeat himself a lot in that fashion. So um, get through some of that stuff, and yeah. So I'm just trying to get through this here so I can get to trading today. That'd be cool, huh? 2022. I don't. I don't think. I just realized that your name is probably supposed to be Baby. It feels a little bit weird to call you Baby, so I'm just gonna respond to the question. um, there's a couple of sessions that he has, or like a video playlist of Forex specific stuff, which is a little bit older content, but gets you some of the terminologies and stuff like that kind of started. So this is a lost trade for my backtesting, just so you know, like this move to here after a raid up here, gap left right there, would have entered and just stopped out. So I got to add that one too. That's another thing about backtesting. You have to be real about when it's not actually a good trade. Otherwise, your data is useless. So anyways, 2022, I was actually watching the current year and taking notes and all that, like I said, and then I realized I was watching one of the other trading net videos, and one of the people that was on mentioned the 2022 style, and I was realizing that it's really close to the strategy that I kind of saw and was working on my own, and so I think that I'll be able to have a better experience trading, knowing from somebody else who's from ICT who's offering a strategy that goes with that. All right, so there's another loss right there, 1824 entry. Another sweet thing about backtesting, if it's not apparent to you yet, is that it allows you to see on a day, well, like the type I'm doing here, where I'm just kind of checking every trade possibility as it sets up. These are my notes from yesterday while I was watching, so they're not anything for my testing. It allows you to see when you'd have like losses in a row, which I think is super helpful. It allows you to see kind of at least an estimate of a win rate, that kind of stuff. So okay, so that's the end of testing for now. So let's go. I can get into looking at today. But I can look and I can say, let's see, let me do this. Let me show you what I'm looking at here in just a second. Let's see. Okay, so this is where I was just entering all the information. So for instance, this day here, if I took every single trade with 2 losses in a row, would have yielded 7R. So that would be a pretty rad day. But over here on a UJ, I think looks like what, break even. So could have taken 6 trades and had no win. And then up here, what I'm doing is I'm watching sessions, New York AM, PM, London Open, Asian range, and then outside of those sessions. So this is the total R that would be gained by trading within certain sessions. So I just put in what the R would be, what the time was. I have a formula in here to show what time it is, and then sums it up here. So yeah, so that's what I'm using there. Yeah, I think testing, like I do it either the day before or the morning of here. And it's helpful to refresh on the strategy. I keep all my little notes up here for strategy rules. It's simple. Trend with MA is verified. Stop rate has happened. So that's what I explained. Here, I'll go to the other one that I actually had trade on earlier. You can see it stopped out already. But stopped out 1R. So that's cool. That's a win for today. I just use this tool for managing for stop movages. Okay, so this trade, here we go. So this one moved down. The trend has been verified by MA. This one I wouldn't count really. Well, I guess it is kind of a raid because it goes past this one. So I'm looking for something that goes higher in the opposite direction I want to see it go. So dotted line, MA is below, solid line. So I'm looking for shorts. So this could be a raid here, but I like this one better because you can see that is the high right here. And that was just broken like that. See, that to me looks more like a raid than just a kind of a natural pullback. So so that was rated. This didn't quite break below and show like a structure break. But if you look right here, this low comes up to a new short-term high and then breaks below. Okay, so that's what I'm looking for, is this short-term high to this short-term low. So I actually came in right when I finished my testing. I was looking at this candle. Oh, shoot. Yeah, thank you. I forgot to put it back on the chart. All right, let me start over. Sorry, folks. All right, so I was just going to go through my 4 steps here. So step number 1, trend is with MA is verified, moving average. I use 25 and 50. There's nothing super special about that. It's just that they help me to see quickly what the trend is doing. There's nothing magic about it. It's just a quick visual reference. So this dotted line is 25. This is 50, the solid line. So when the dotted is below, then I'm looking for shorts. So I was pointing out that this high up here raids out here, but then I don't get like a break below in structure. So this high, this short-term high that comes in, then breaks little mini structure, but doesn't leave a gap. Then you see this raid right here. So this is the one that I like because it just pokes up, says, hey, what's up here? I want to grab, and then comes back down. So it didn't break during this move. This big red bar didn't quite get below here, so it's not quite time yet. Comes up to this short-term high and breaks down below. And that's the move that I used for entry like this. Oops. That one, there we go. Okay. So I would have put my stop. I use a bar like this that I can put, like I said, this says minimum. I put it there. I use a market entry on this one, so I didn't use the blue line. So when I enter, it will calculate risk based on where it's at to that stop line, and then adds in spread. So you can see how incredibly close it was to stopping out. it just got within, I mean, it must have been a point. I don't know. I can't believe it didn't stop out. So thankful for that. Actually, so I came in right here, actually, when this was forming. I was like, ah, shoot, I missed it because there's a gap. Oh, let me go back to the rules. Fair value gap left in wake of structure break. So here's the gap right in there. So this is from the low of this candle to the high of this candle with nothing in between. So came back in, hit this, and I thought maybe I'd lose it, but I watched it for a minute and then just did a market entry once it came back up, which is like one of the scariest things. I was, when I started trading, I was always like putting stop sells in. So like you get like a break of structure and you have a stop here to get in with momentum. But over time, you start to realize that, oh, there's this very rarely what the how the move works. So getting in as a green bar is forming when you want it to go down, it's a little bit scary. So excuse me. Anyways, got in with market there. It got very close, and then as soon as it rolled down past 1 right here, I move it to break even wherever the entry was, and then it got down to 2 right here, and I moved it to the 1R spot right there, and it stopped out. So you can see it's going more now, and I can actually start looking for another trade in here. See stop raid, short-term high. I'll use this again. Oh, and then part of the rule is that I keep forgetting to go back to my little thing. It's kind of in my head. So let's see, where can you see this? Let's get that out of the way. There we go. 50 fair value gap happens at least 50%. Like I can't get in unless it's at least a 50% retracement. So so that's kind of the general outline of what I'm looking for. This one's pretty extended, so I'm going to probably wait on anything on the Euro USD. Those are two pairs I trade. I would like to wait for a new raid to happen. In other words, is what I'm looking for. This has got strength. Looks like there's news. I think this is all a bunch of Canadian news, at least that I see, but that could have impact. We'll see. So I'm going to do this. This is how I watch. Let me know if you can see well enough to see the two charts. Looks like on my preview I can see it okay. On a move like this, sometimes what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch to, it depends, I guess we'll see. This is forming though as a possible setup. I want to highlight wait, what was that? This is M1. I like my lines to be nice and flat. It's an annoying thing that you can't do on MetaTrader, so I just always go in like that, make sure they're flat. I'm going to zoom out to 15 minutes, see if there's anything. See, 1 hour. Okay, so we're starting to get into these territories over here. Just going to mark off these levels. Yeah, stop rate is what I use for liquidity grabs. Same idea, I think. Don't, I mean, I'm not a teacher, so That's the same term I'm using though, as far as I know. So like for instance on this one, there's a gap here, here, and here. So there's a bunches of gaps. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll switch time frame to like the next one up 2 minutes to see if that's a better, like if there's a better gap setup. So like for this one, 2 minute setup actually looks pretty good. So gotta hurry though, it's getting close. So gap, stop loss minimum, and I have a minimum there as a way of just saying I would like to be able to adjust that if needed. And where's my limit? Deleted it, I forgot. Usually what I'm doing is I'm looking for that 50%. Whoops. Red line goes up. Blue line goes down. Oh, that was it right there. That would have been. See if I can get an entry still. Limit order is in there for a short. Actually, since it already touched that, cancel that, move it up towards the top of the gap. Meaning if it already hit the 50, like the halfway through the gap line, then if it's gonna, usually if it's gonna go up, what I notice is that it goes up a little bit more. So, but I may have just missed it. That's okay though. Trading and talking don't go together very well for me, I guess. The little box on MetaTrader, you can see has like the middle point lined out. So I use that a lot of times as entry. So even if my entry was there, it probably wouldn't have gotten in. So just because of how close it was. So I'm going to cancel orders. So it looks like it's ready to do its own thing for a bit. Let's see what UJ is doing. Clean this off. Does anyone that's on here trade with MetaTrader, or is it does everyone use TradingView? I'm just curious. Or something else, I guess there's other possibilities. TradingView demo, cool. All right, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go in and mark out these different levels. I like to annotate them because it gives a little bit of I'll show you why actually in just a second. This one is ITL, intermediate term low. So if you have your options set, it'll show you the description on the line itself, but also if I didn't actually label this one, but you can see if you hover over it, it'll give you a description of what that line means. So intermediate term highs and lows are what I like to, I'm just kind of practicing recognizing still. So intermediate term high and low means that there's a short-term high on either side of it, if that makes sense. So this one actually would become I think a long-term, because there's two intermediate term highs on either side. There's one here, high and high, short-term high, short-term high. And then this would be an intermediate. So just identifying the different types of levels that I'm seeing as they form. ANG, accurate average daily ranges. Where do I find accurate average daily ranges for Forex pairs? I don't. there's a lot I'm still learning about ranges and time frames and all that kind of stuff. Like if you look, if I zoom out, you can see kind of lightly the yellow section. There's a turquoise section coming up a little bit later. It's hard to see. There's a tan section. These are different ranges that ICT has pointed out as either kill zones or whatever Asian range or whatever you want to call it. So this is New York midnight over here. So I am learning when to look and use those still. Right now, the strategy is so micro in terms of its 1 minute time frame, as well as pretty small stops and targets that I don't want to say that it doesn't matter, because it certainly does, I'm sure. And or not but for me in this strategy, it doesn't matter so much. So I do look also at, you can see green dotted, orange dotted, and somewhere down there's a red dotted. So those form tops and bottoms of the last 3 days. So green is yesterday or last session, orange is the day before, and red is 3 days back. So you can see that it kind of overlap. So right now we're up above all of the last 3 days. So it's a way of kind of getting a feel for daily ranges without having to switch to daily time frame. Hopefully that answers your question, Angie. So I don't know if I would have been able to get in on that one there, but it is doing what I would have hoped it would have done. Also, I also look and see, like, okay, if I had not been so aggressive with moving stops, then I would have been still watching this one go down. So it's something I take into account when doing my back testing too. Is like, what amount is it pulling back into those stops too soon? Like, would it have gone much more? I do currently use usually a maximum of like a 5R. If it gets to 5, then I'm just going to get out without watching it trace back, because that's kind of what I see as typical. Once in a while it'll go bananas and you could get 10 or 20R probably, but that's not what I'm shooting for. That's stressful. You kind of saw as this was forming, I kind of got frantic and I was like trying to get my line set figured out. I think in the past I would have just gotten in like late down here, and that's something I've been working on not doing. So I'm trying not to chase setups. Excuse me. It's a nice move though. So this is a raid that happened here. You can see the old short-term low right there, broken, and now it's moved up above. So I might actually, let's see. Oh man, I think this one has a daily high that oh yeah, it's just hit it from back here. I had that marked out on my phone actually. So that's just broken that. So that to me is a reason to not continue going long, at least not right at this moment. I would want to see a bigger, deeper retracement, something that would be more of like a 5-minute setup, or let's see, 15. It's pretty extended, is what I'd say. But you can look at this if you wanted to trade higher time frames. Like same concept I think applies. So if you're looking at this move here, you see it did come below the short-term low over here, and it's really monstrously pushed out. So you have this nice big 15-minute gap in here. So you could, I might actually leave that annotated so I can come back for it later. At this point, it's probably tomorrow. I don't think we'll get back there today, but we'll see. Could be useful to have that marked out to see, short term, like the way that I see it is like I could be trading on a 15-minute time frame and just set up a limit order like I was on the 1 minute, and just wait 2 days until it gets down there. Or I can keep this area in mind and once price does get back in there, then follow my rules. So I can use that as an area to know, okay, it came down here. Now I got to wait for it to kind of poke up and flop the MAs so that it's going kind of bullish again. So, it's kind of cool. You can look at the charts a lot of different ways, and I think that the different time frames are really interesting. So this broke this intermediate term high. So my typical tendency is to want to try to get in here, but I'm already contradicting myself, right? I said I'm gonna not get in long because it's right at the top of that range. So if my big picture idea is that this is going to be a spot of rejection, then I need to wait for my rules to apply on the short side. And then I can consider taking a short to where it comes back down into this gap. And then you can consider going long, so it's like you can use the big picture to kind of inform the small time frame stuff. And I think over my time of trading, which is a few years now, there's almost nobody that says you should ignore the higher time frames. It's pretty much the opposite, is what my understanding is. So one of my goals, however, is to have a setup that doesn't require a huge amount of high time frame analysis. So that I feel like that's contrary to a lot of what I just said about other people. But like my stubbornness says that there's got to be a way to do it, and it may not be that that's the case. But that's my hope. I want to create something. That's one of the things I share with ICTs. I want to create something that I can teach my kids. I thought that was really cool when I heard him say that. He's always talking about a strategy that works for, like, simple enough that his kids will be able to do it if they ever want to. So that was something I had in mind before I found ICT. So it's kind of cool when you get confirmation of ideas like that. Let's see. Let me do this. I want to show you where I'm at with my challenge. I haven't done that yet this morning. So here is my Blue Guardian dashboard. Woohoo! It's so if you didn't watch last week, then you may not have heard, but like this is a this challenge, what I'm hoping for is that this challenge helps me in my accountability to follow my rules, to be more consistent with risk, to have those things in conjunction with each other, get me to a place where I am more consistently profitable. So it's been a number of years, and I've been a losing trader, and I've been kind of a break-even trader for a while. So this is an exciting opportunity for me to get to that point where I can say that I'm consistently profitable. At least that's my hope. So dashboard shows overall profit. I'm still a little bit confused. I have to look into this. Like it shows overall profit as 409, but the actual profit target amount is 335.63. So I'm what is that? Can't figure that out right off the top of my head. 335 divided by 2000. So 16% of my way to my target. That's okay with me. This is week 2. I haven't had a huge string of more than like 2 losses in a row. So yeah, I'm good with this. This makes me look forward to completing this challenge. Got some cool stats as you go. Like you can see over the average, 2-to-1 risk reward ratio. I've been since first trade, 6 days, 23 hours, that kind of stuff. So pretty cool. So yeah, I'm excited about this Blue Guardian challenge. It's a pretty sweet opportunity. 8A6Y. What do you mean? How long do I have? Is it how long have I been trading, or how long do I have left today? Oh, this challenge is not timed. No. It seems like a lot of the prop challenges are moving away from the time frame. Some of them, the more aggressive ones, are certainly timed. So, I would have still done it if it was timed. I would have just probably had a bigger risk per trade and had a higher risk of moving towards to stop out. But I really want to protect this opportunity, so I have a 1/5 of 1% or 0.2 risk per trade, which equals out to something around $50 on the $25,000 account. So yeah, no time limit, 2 phases. Phase 1 has the first goal of $2,000 profit. Yeah, I'm good with 66% win rate. I'm happy there. I don't know that I would say I fully expect it to stay that high, because looking at the backtesting data, it's like probably going to be more like I don't know. Maybe it will. Maybe the accountability and the following my rules will keep it a little bit higher like that. But because some of the offset of the win rate is that there's higher risk reward on a handful of trades, it tells me that there's opportunity um, for a lower win rate and to still be profitable in that fashion. So this is the daily chart of UJ. One thing that I found I think is helpful is to not you notice I only have two charts. One of my more common, I think, downfalls is too quickly thinking that, oh, more charts equals more money. All right, I'm a 66% win rate trader. There you go. Appreciate it. Is to like add anything with a low spread. It's like, oh, I'm trading 1 minute frame, time frame. So I should have more opportunities arise, and what would happen is I would get lazy about the analysis. I would get lazy about rules because there's so many things to watch. So I have two charts, Euro USD and USD JPY. And these are the two that I watch, and it allows me to continually re-markup things like old lows, old higher time frame, fair value gaps, as I experience them. So rather than leaving those on forever, I will wipe out lines in the charts every day or two or week at the very latest and reanalyze to see what's been touched, what hasn't been touched or hit, and go from there. So this is not going to be a trade. Sorry, I kind of was thinking that maybe there would be a setup in there, but well, actually, maybe on a 2 minute you might get the opportunity here. Yeah, I don't see I don't see another opportunity before taking out that low there. Okay, well, while I wait to see if anything else might happen, I'm gonna go grab a cup of coffee and do my push-ups. Coffee one of my habits that I'm working on is coffee or yeah, coffee. I like coffee a lot, and so in order to have a cup of coffee, I do 10 push-ups or some sort of 10 pressing or pushing exercise, and then 10 squatting movements as well. So it's kind of a fun habit that helps me stay active, gets me awake in the morning and towards other goals I have in my life. So kind of a neat habit stack if you know what habit stacking is. So I'm gonna run downstairs and grab a cup of coffee. Be right back. Alrighty. Coffee. Coffee. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. I like coffee too. It's delicious. So, is anyone else on here in any trades right now? I'd be curious to know. Nothing. Nobody's in any trades. It's all good. Oh, cool. US 30. I always look at that like I want to start trading. Either that or the, what is the other one? There's CFD one that we can do. Oh, NCs. Here we go. US 30. Oh, SPX. That's the other one. I think it'd be really cool to trade those, but they've got such a huge cost associated. Eventually, though, maybe. Let's see. Lights background. There we go. Here's US 30. Short. Facile, what do you mean music? Let's see, where's your short at, Dion? Just curious. You don't have to say if you don't want to either. I'm curious because I'm waiting for my own trades to show up. So he's got some steam. Oh, that's cool. It's like loading the rest of the data for the moving averages to calculate. So what's it going to run into, though, is a question. Huh. Right at the highs. Okay, cool. That's pretty rad. Little break right there. A little maybe liquidity grab, huh? That's cool. Yeah, I looked at watching ICT. It looks like the accuracy, the precision of the future stuff looks pretty cool. You don't have to deal with some of the Forex stuff, but I don't want to get ahead of myself. Forex is where I'm going to be at for now. Let's close that guy. S&P. All right. So the question is here with UJ. Do I think that move is enough to have some room to get down? 50% is right at that low. It's right at this old. Why did I label that? What is that one? That's just an old low. This is ITO. I don't like looking at it. All my notes and everything just make it look so jumbled. It's okay though. That's short-term low. So then when labeling them there, you can go here and you see, oh, that's an old daily short-term low. This one didn't get labeled either because I'm already past it, I think. Oh no, that's the old ITO. So there's a lot of things happening in this little area here. Order block. Oops, forgot to straighten it out. So this is an intriguing area, but I do have to keep in mind the floors down here. EU. I think I'm still waiting on a reset for this one. It's just really extended. So there might be a trade in here later after lunch. Maybe once that's broken there, maybe. We'll see though. Oh, let's see. Facile, you looking for background music? Is that what you're asking there? Let's see what low. I haven't used any of these before, so I'm not really sure what kind of music there. Let's do Into Space is. Slim says no music. I don't know about that. Pretty chill. Just kind of testing these out, see if there's any that stick. Trend MAs are 25 and 50 smoothed, I think is right. Let's see. 50 smoothed. Yeah, but I said it earlier, like there's really nothing special about those MAs. It really isn't. So they seem to be a pretty decent indicator for, I say indicator, not in terms of like tell me when to trade, but indicator, and like they shift at about the right speed for me. So just helps filter out some bad trades. All right. I'm not gonna leave the music playing. That's what I decided. Sorry, Facile. You can put some music on another tab or something. um, yeah, so 25 and 50 moving average smoothed out. No magic in those though. Just some numbers. I guess that's ITL now. Well, you guys have anything else? Any other thoughts or cool things to share before we depart for the day? I think my wife and I are gonna go for a walk. One of my favorite things. Cool. Well, if you got anything else, I'll be back next Wednesday. I think is my next day for live streaming. Um, Today was in recap was just I had one trade on the USD JPY short for 1 hour, roughly 1 hour. I think it was just short. So one win. Happy about that. Always makes me second guess if I should rethink my exit strategy, how to manage and hold. You can see this would have been, let's see, my original, let's see what it could have been. Stop was at the high of that. Oh no, I have over there. Let's see, do a little experiment. It was like right above there. These guys go right here. Oh, it's upside down though. Yeah, so I think there we go. All right, something like that. So you can see I would have tagged out 5, maybe 6R if I was going down, but 5 is my kind of max. So if my management of trades was a little looser, maybe move to break even once 2R hits, I would have been safe there. Move to 2R when 4Rs hit, things like that I could reconsider and see if there might be any benefit in the outcome of some of these trades. Or just trusting the structure, trusting the old lows being reached for. Like this hadn't been broken yet down here, this old intermediate term low on the hourly chart, and then could have used that as a way of saying, hey, this is probably going to keep going at least until down here, and that level for this trade would have been a 4R, so there's lots of options for how to manage trades. I'm really just trying to have one that's pretty mechanical, that I don't have to think a whole lot about. But I do give myself the allowance to make decisions like that sometimes, to hold a trade at regular stop or break even a little bit longer, based on the strength or whatever I see, or weakness. Dion, let's see. Here's Dion's question. What is some advice you have for keeping calm, cool, and collective as you get into a trade or hold a trade? I think backtesting is probably the best thing that you can do for psychology during a trade. Well, I don't want to say the best thing. That's what I'm gonna say for today, because that's what I've been talking about. Backtesting allows you to see what trades look like, how they retrace, how they potentially will work or not work, so that you don't have, so that you kind of trust yourself a little bit more that way. If you're often looking for something that you're not comfortable with, then you're going to feel not cool, not calm, and not collected. So I think knowing your setup and trusting it, and trading with a size and risk amount that you're comfortable with. I will be transparent in that there's still, like, even this trade, because it was up candle that I'm selling short into, my heart started beating a little bit. It's like, oh, I'm about to start stream. What are they going to think if it just goes to right to stop out? That kind of thing. So there's still, still challenges for me, for sure. But it really, I think, requires knowledge of yourself, knowledge of your system for how you trade. I have spent time trading in a way that was, quickly and kind of crazily profitable for a time, but it left me like stressed and checking my phone all the time and this kind of stuff. And then eventually kind of blew up a little bit because I got ahead of myself. And so I'm trying to find something that works long term, that doesn't interfere with daily life. So knowing your system, trusting your system, and not trading with too much size is, I think, huge. So hopefully that helps a little bit, Dion. Yeah, that's what I think for today. I think there's probably lots of other things that would help. Maybe we can talk more about it next week. Sunith, this is the USD JPY. I look at both USD JPY as well as Euro USD over here on this side. I could turn the ticker on so you guys can see. If that's helpful. It's kind of small still though, so we'll see. You can see it right up here now. It's pretty tiny though. Dion, did that answer your question at all? At least in part. Okay. Well, I don't see anything available for trading again right here, so I'm gonna wait and see what happens after the morning session's over. I do have a job that I have to go work at but I do have the fortunate thing that I can keep an eye on the charts as I'm working. So I think there's going to be another opportunity a little bit later for a long in the USD JPY as well as a short, but either and or maybe with the Euro USD. So that's what I got. Farewell, everybody, for today. I will be back next Wednesday. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks, Cam, Trading Nut, for the opportunity. Thanks, Blue Guardian, for the opportunity. It's pretty cool. I'm excited. Going to keep going. I'm going to get to this challenge target, beat phase 1 and phase 2, and be funded trader. That's my hope and my goal for this challenge. So farewell, everybody. Have a great day.